Okay. Okay, so we are back at it and we are going to get started now. Today, we're going to go over something a little different today. We have essentially completed everything that we were trying to do with sentence structure, so forth and so on. Today, we're going to begin a discussion, and I can't promise that we're going to finish it. This is the whole thing. I can't promise we're going to finish this discussion, but we will start it, and any part of it I think will be beneficial, because today we're going to talk about, we're going to try to understand the reading section of the new SAT. So we're going to try to get a basic understanding of it. I already know we're not going to get through this discussion, but we're going to try to get as far as we can. Maybe some of this material you remember, but that's because we went over it before, but it was way back in November when we went over it. So, but I think, it's definitely going to be, especially for those who were in 10th grade last year, this is going to be some really interesting information for you and something you need. Those who were in 11th grade last year, maybe you know a lot of this and maybe you don't. But let's get started. In order to understand the new SAT in itself, we have to understand where this test is coming from, okay? And we have to understand what this test is, what this test is about, and why they even use it. And in order to understand that, we got to go all the way back to the basis of the test, which is, it's called a standardized test. Now, in America, they have essentially two types of standardized tests. They have achievement tests and aptitude tests. Achievement tests, I mean, if we want to put it in real simple terms, achievement tests assess the teacher and how well the teacher covered whatever subjects they were supposed to cover. The aptitude test assesses the student and how well they retained information over a period of time. So, when you're trying to figure out a simple way to understand the achievement test and the aptitude test, that's really good. So, achievement test tests the teacher, although the teacher is not taking the test, the students are, and the aptitude test is testing the student on what the teacher taught. So that's a really basic way to understand. So the SAT is an aptitude test. So essentially what this test does is it tests the knowledge that you have accumulated over a period of time. And what period of time are we talking about? We're talking about from the first grade to the 11th grade. From the first grade to the 11th grade. So when you take this test, it gives those who are looking at your results a good understanding of how well you retained what you were supposed to retain during that period of time. So this is what you're assessed on. Now understand this. Stop writing this for a minute because it's not even really important. You have to understand this concept. The SAT is not testing you on what you can learn in a few months. It's not testing you on what you can learn in a few months. So just because you sit with a tutor for a few months or a few weeks, it's not going to help you really. You may achieve getting a few extra points, but that's not what this test is testing you on. It's not like a math test and you cram the night before and you manage to make an It's not like that. And that's what a lot of students find. They might spend 6 months, with tutors every day. And then they take the SAT and they figure out, oh man, they get the score back. And like, what happened? What happened over the last 10 years, not over the last 10 months. That's not what the test is testing you on. So, and when you understand the fact that this test is an aptitude test, then you understand that it is assessing how well you retain the information you were given over the last 10 years. So trying to cram for it is not good. This is why I always tell students, especially in the 10th grade, that you got to start today. You have to start now trying to fix the problems that you have been experiencing if you hadn't tried to fix them before now. And then usually those problems involve not being serious about reading, not being interested in reading. You have to solve that issue now. You can't wait till the 11th grade, 2 months before you're going to take this test and decide, oh, I just get with somebody, spend a couple of hours every day, and then to fix all the problems that I had over the last 10 years with my not being serious about reading. It's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. Okay, so aptitude. This word we really want to understand. It is a noun. Because this is an aptitude test, you need to understand this word. A natural ability to do something. They're testing you on a natural ability to do something. Now, that natural ability, you can improve it over time. And the natural ability that they are actually assessing you on is your natural ability to deal with numbers and equations, and it's the math, and your natural ability to deal with reading. Because it is something that you have to practice over and over again. And we're talking about over 10 years. So you should have mastered this ability by the end of 10 years. And this is what they're assessing on whether or not you did that or not. Okay. It used to be called the Scholastic Aptitude Test. This is what I remember the name, the SAT standing for, Scholastic Aptitude Test. But herein late, they decided that they didn't want to associate their test with an aptitude or any type of test that will test your, natural knowledge, okay, like an IQ test or anything. So they got away from SAT standing for an acronym. They got away from that. They don't even recognize that it is an acronym. But when I was in high school, it was an acronym. And we remember it was called the Scholastic Aptitude. So back then, they said it was an aptitude test. So looking at the definition of aptitude, we know that it is a test that is measuring how well we retain or understood information given to us over a long period of time. And in my estimation, we're talking about years, 10 years, your school life. All right. The reading section. I'm not going over the math section. You do know I don't teach math, right? Okay. All right. So I don't teach math. So I think we probably should go over the reading section. What you think, Mr. McNeil? My voice is strained because I spent all night talking last night, and I strained my voice last night. I shouldn't have did that. But it is what it is. I have no voice today. Okay. All right. So let's get down. 65 minutes. Now, to tell me 2 things you can do straight, nonstop, 65 minutes. 2 things you can do. Can you run for 65 minutes? You can't run for 65 minutes? You can't what? What else? Omar, can you stand in the kitchen and cook for 65 minutes? Huh? Can you stand in the kitchen over the stove for 65 minutes and cook? Can you do that? You can't do that? Why not? There are people who can. Chefs. That's what a chef does. What do you think a chef does in the restaurant? I mean, he goes somewhere and sit while the food could. No, he's standing there, and believe not, he is doing it for probably longer than 65 minutes. How about a marathon runner, Miss Nada? They run maybe longer than 65 minutes? Yeah. So pretty much, if you think about the things you can't do for 65 minutes, you probably can find somebody who can do it. Did they wake up one morning and they could do it? Did they just wake up one morning and they just ran for 65 minutes? Did they do that, Ms. Nada? No. It probably took some practice, right? Right? It probably took some practice. Like one day they did for 10 minutes, next day they did 15, and like that and so forth. Same thing with the chef. I mean, he had to go to a culinary art school and learn how to do stuff. And eventually he didn't mind standing over the oven for 65 minutes. At first, he's probably like, I can't do this, but eventually he learned how to do it, right? Well, that's the same thing with this test. It's a 65-minute reading test. So you're going to be essentially reading for 65 minutes. So let me ask you, okay, so now we're going to think about logic, okay, Ms. Nada, right? If you never read for 65 minutes, would this test be a little difficult for you? If you never spent time at home just reading for 65 minutes. Yeah. I mean, isn't that logical? If I never sat down and read anything for 65 minutes, this test probably going to be a little difficult for me, right? So without talking about anything about the test, we know that probably we should increase or improve our ability to simply sit and read something for an hour. Right? Right, because there's no break, there's no getting up, going somewhere, for 20, 30 minutes and chilling. No, it's 65 minutes. You get that? So if you in this class are not reading an hour a day, at least, then there's no way you're preparing for this. It's just no way. You know what I'm saying? Now can you make the connection now with that? Okay, I really hope you can. 3,250 words. Let's go back to the marathon runner, right? Okay, so this marathon runner, he got to do, 5 kilometers. Okay, let's make it 10 kilometers, right? So when he's preparing for the 10, how many kilometers do you think he's running every day? 5, maybe? Really, although he got a 10-kilometer race, he's only going to run 5 a day. Obviously, he's probably going to run 15, just so he can do his maximum at 10, right? So let me ask you this. If you know in 65 minutes, you got to read 3,250 words, in 65 minutes. You got to do other things in that 65 minutes. And you, as a test preparer, every day, you don't read it all. Let me take that, because some students, I'm gonna bring that back. Every day you read 1,000 words. About how much maybe you do chat, you read in chats and stuff like that. Are you gonna be prepared for that, Miss? You gonna be prepared? 3,200 words in 65 minutes, although you only spend 10 minutes reading 1,000, 15 minutes reading 1,000 words a day. No. We got to start thinking about this logically. If we are faced with this and we're doing something else that's less than this, then we're not really serious about preparing. We're playing around. And that's why you get the playing around score. Right, Ms. Angie? All right, then you shouldn't expect anything else. That's 500, 750 word passages. We're talking about passages and paired passages. So I think all this stuff you probably know already. 52 questions. You got to answer 52 questions. Now, they don't give you an extra 65 minutes to answer the 52 questions. You got to read 3,250 words and answer 52 questions in 65 minutes. Now, is it sinking in a little bit? How serious this is, right? Okay, so let's continue. Multiple choice 4 questions. Those are the number of answer choices that you have with each question. You got words and context, different than just vocabulary words that you've never seen before. These words are actually in what you're reading, and these words have more than one meaning. They have multiple meanings, and you have to decide which one the author is using. You got, it's going to always be 10 of these. And that's actually one of the things I noticed about the new set is I noticed a big increase in the vocabulary and context. But understand this, it's not only one word vocabulary, it's also phrases. It's also phrases, not just words, it's also phrases. And I noticed that was a big increase, 10 questions, I think 19%, 2 questions per passage. You can count on 2 of these questions in every passage. So you will not escape the vocab and context. There will be no escape from that. Okay, all right, command of evidence. And I think our focus last year dealt a lot with this, understanding how authors use evidence, identifying evidence, and I kept saying this over and over and over again. That's because you're going to have 2 questions every passage dealing with evidence-based questions, where you're going to be asked questions about evidence that the author used in the passage. And that's, though when we talked about it last year, we know how difficult they are. Okay, so what are the topics? History, social studies, 40%. 2 passages, one or one paired passage. 10 to 11 questions you can pretty much count on, and a graphic to go along with whatever they're discussing. Analysis and science. So you're going to get some science-based passages, 21 questions, 40% of what you're going to be reading. It's going to be 2 passages, one and one paired passage. So you can get history. Read in your preparation. Novels like, Hunger Games. Asked you to do last year, which was to and read them about whatever it is you're interested in. Non-fiction. Reading a novel, novels, maybe an hour. On U.S. and world literature. That's pretty much where you're going to read every day an hour, and you only read novels, you only read, you're going to be ready for 20% of the test. That's all you need. What you think, Ms. Nadia? You think? No, 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 no. Not. Look for some nonfiction stuff. Look for, I don't know, some. I mean, if you're interested in science, you're interested in engineering, and they go over in detail, you know, how a lot more information on the set other than that. I also have to mention, and signers of the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, to about 1830. AmericanGov.org or something like that, probably. Because you're interested. But if they promise one choice, you know what I'm saying? Do you want? You don't care. You want to forget that passage. No. Maybe you don't. Okay, so here we go. SAT. Let's look at it. Reading closely, understanding rhetoric, analyzing text. You know, when you're thinking about how can I improve that score, eighth grade, how can I test? Far, and what we're going to see is directly from the College Board website. If you haven't already began your preparation, or you start sitting down with the test, you need to understand because the less Yes. Uh, close to your face, right? Yes? You guess, you guess. Huh? Take your time on the SAT. How for relaxation. This is reading over the text. Okay? The information is so that you can be ready for the questions. So don't ever read. That's not while you're reading it. You're not. You know, your little story. We know this word rhetoric. Anyone we talked about this word. How the author uses argument. We talked about this last year. Argument. There are things that we look for. Takes a position on the topic. He discusses that. That you have with the taxi driver because he's trying to over try to convince you to agree. Synthesis of information. Look at both of them and, try to. They're going to ask you a question where you have to look at the graph. You have to have. And all these skills you get in these questions, focus on explicit. What does explicit mean, Mr. Omar? implicit and explicit. Because when you're reading closely, and when the author is giving you information implicitly. Let's look at the skill sets that we need when citing textual evidence. Essentially, an author can give you information to on your part, or he created time. Whatever he's discussing, there's nothing for you to guess about. If I'm just inferring, then I is direct, implicit is usually students have things and infer things, and it's those questions it's just the information is just not there. The lines, trying to figure out what the author is trying. Questions that ask us to find the evidence that is used. Take a look at understanding rhetoric. Language. The top so I'm hoping I'm skipping this. Between a particular part of the text and of the reading section that some like. Grammar and writing, yes. in the reading itself, all paragraphs and all analyzing part whole relationships, analyzing point of view. When you remember those 3 points of view? First person, second person, third person. We're not talking is actually being tested on SAT. There's not a, you remember that? Guessing. You know, I'm gonna give it to you, but just guess. Work. No. This is another. These are the 3 points of view that an author you have to be able to determine when you read. Was it negative, meaning against whatever he was discussing? Now, there's nothing that says that the point of view of the author cannot. You went from positive to negative, you have to. You have to be able to tell. Did he keep this? I guarantee if the if they put that passage there and the author started analyzing purpose. We talked about there we go. She hit it on the nail. You have to be able to always. You have to be able to. Now let's talk about analyzing. Now, of course, we already know what an argument is. Right? Right. On, okay. Agree with him. That is what argument is. Here's the skills you need. Analyzing and analyzing the position How did he reason his? You remember? Miss Nana? I hope so. The whole year was analyzing evidence. Evidence and how to find evidence that all we spent a lot. We had to look and find stuff. No, I'm talking about, well, yeah, but that he was using. Chapter and all of that. That's what we were doing. Information. You remember? You remember? That's what we're talking about. At least 2 questions every passage. And understand, analyze. The last one, of course, is some advice. You might want to take this advice. Who gets a little afraid when they see the graphic? You have to listen to me. Who am I? I don't know nothing. Right? Do not try to. Yeah, we heard what I just said, Omar? Did you hear what I just said? Leave it at that, because it's a synthesis. The graphic. If they only wanted you to look at the graphic, and trying to see how they relate. If they only don't do that. All right, so these quantitative information, that means coming from different sources. Now, so synthesis question. When you one positive point of view and one negative point of view. negative or one neutral and one positive, that's when the pair packs. Synthesis questions, because they're asking thing, in this case, two texts. So considering the other item that they're asking. And now we get down to the meat. Now, raise your hand if you think that understanding the questions and all this stuff, that ain't necessary, right? Raise your hand. You understand the types of questions and stuff? All are the same. They use thing. They have a format. Anytime trying to understand you are not preparing for this this test. Oh, and when you don't, then you deserve your money to be taken. And now they've had enough students to tell you when you should walk out. Go to those who are your knowledge and help you improve these things. We're not going to talk about that because base questions you will have them. They are broken into syntax and structure. Okay, syntax simply means the text is grammatically put. Do require students to learn complex text. If you didn't get this in school, if you get it outside, you're gonna have to get it in. I just want to see a show of hands because I know all of you are doing. Today, I mean, huh? Really? You guys are like, really? We will not read. We refuse to read. Okay. Okay, so the types of these are the types. I'm putting up the list. Which one of these types student who you get the main idea when you and Miss Nada, why find out more information about those types of questions. From what you read. So those questions are going to have inference questions. This applying, reading in between the lines. So those vocabulary and context questions. Tone and mood questions. Is the tone, I mean, is the tone of the author, is it authoritative? Positive mood, negative mood, sad mood? I mean, view of the author. Also try to figure out at that synthesis, of course, of info. And tech question, maybe you can try to make them being asked these questions, and those central claim of the passage is that I'm being asked a main idea. Center of something. So that means, in essence, the main thing. Yes. So here we go. Sentence in the paragraph should express what the main idea of a particular paragraph. It's just up to them how they do it. You have to read that passage. Somebody tells you, can get. $50 or above. And last paragraph, first and last sentence, skip that, skip this. Or else they're telling you, I only want you 1,000, okay. That was a sad strategy then. That's a bunch of baloney. There was another strategy for the whole passage. It's stupid. It's a stupid. You got to read the whole passage. So Miss Ingram is not a look. They say you're a hopeless case. You don't. Marathon runner. What does the marathon runner day, right? Can you imagine a marathon? Okay, so if you are going to take a reading test, come on, what are you going to do every day? You're going to read. Half of the passage, you're going to say, why? I can read. And I'm out of here. Right? Right, Matthew, right? I don't know how much more time we got. We got 1 minute. Okay, primary purpose. We'll deal with this again. Read.